Testing, testing. Okay, I think we're good. Somebody once said that words are the most powerful thing in the world. They can start a war, or they can console somebody who's lost a loved one. They can make us laugh, and they can make us cry. They can also change our thoughts. Welcome to the Culminating Elementary Talented and Gifted Experience, TAGx.
Hi, my name is Khan, and today I'm going to share with you how pollution affects the ocean's environment. Now, let's dive into the topic. Have you ever realized that ocean life is being harmed? Every year, billions of plastic, metal, rubber, paper, textiles, fishing gear, vessels, and other lost and discarded items enters the ocean's environment every day. 66% of ocean waters have been impacted by humans. Pollution can come from human activities on the coastline and far inland. Some pollutions can form from oil spills. Some wash up on the beach, some sink, and some are eaten by ocean animals. One of the pollution sources that goes into the oceans is called non-point sources. It can come from many things, like septic tanks, livestock ranches, farms, timber areas, and vehicles. Another cause of ocean pollution is ocean acidification, which is caused when airborne carbon dioxide is absorbed by seawater, causing chemical reactions that reduce seawater and may affect many marine species. Another source is point source. Point source pollution can have large impacts, but thankfully they don't occur that much. PFAS substances are another chemical that can pollute the ocean. It can be found on ground, surface, and even drinking water. PFAS chemicals affect larval grass shrimp. Sometimes it's not the type of material, but it is concentration that determines whether a substance is a pollutant. Our oceans and Great Lakes are polluted by marine debris, from small microplastics smaller than 5 millimeters to abandoned vessels. Worldwide, hundreds of marine species have been negatively impacted and killed. Marine debris can also affect human health because we eat things that come from the ocean. All marine debris comes from humans. Garbage patches are large areas of oceans where trash, fishing gear, and other marine debris collects. The marine debris is constantly growing. It can be found at the surface all the way to the ocean floor. Worse, fish and other species that live in the ocean can mistake pollution things such as plastics for food. So in conclusion, we shouldn't throw garbage into the sea to hurt fish and other species, or else the species in the ocean will be harmed and impacted and can be extinct in the near future. But there is a pro. So far, the marine pollution crew and cleanup crew has collected 7 million pounds of trash from the ocean and took it away from the ocean. So please don't throw more plastics and pollution into the ocean. Thank you.
produce great pets. They have tons of cool things about them. And for example, they're the longest living rodent. Chinchillas have stolen the hearts of many people with their velvety fur coats and playful personalities. With gentle handling from a very young age, most chinchillas will become quite tame and bond closely with their owners. Although sometimes they do not like to be held or cuddled, they are very active and playful. Price. Depending on the variety of conditions and where they come from, a chinchilla can range from about $75 and up for adoption fee, or they can cost as much as $400 or more from a breeder. But chinchillas are exotic pets, so aren't they meant to be crazy expensive to keep? We thought so too until we broke down the cost and realized the expense of owning a chinchilla is actually comparable to other types of pets. The lowest price cage is about $83, and chinchilla food pebbles they eat is about $5 or $6. Babies. When chinchilla kids are born, they are fully covered in fur and their eyes are wide open. Chinchilla babies are called kids. These sweet creatures have fantasizing character traits like where they come from and their physical characteristics. They eat grasses, twigs, and leaves. They also eat raisins, at least 2 per week. They eat dried roses and dried dandelions, small pieces of shredded wheat, dried charmeleon, small pieces of wheat biscuits, and dried rolled oats. Although these animals are cute, some people want to harm these animals for their fur. So let's be better, and instead of being cruel to these animals and buying fur coats of them, get them as a pet and cuddle with them while they're still alive. Did you know it takes 150 to 300 chinchillas to make one fur coat? That's a lot, but it doesn't mean just be nice to cute animals. Treat all animals with respect like chinchillas. Chinchilla fur coats make chinchillas endangered. Both species of chinchillas are endangered in the wild due to poaching and habitat loss. Chinchillas are investigally bred in captive faculties for their fur. The pedigree of biochemical research at fur farms. Chinchillas live in cruel conditions before being crudely killed for their soft and dense fur. Fun facts. We can put that to the side and do fun facts. They're not the cuddliest opinion, at least not at first, at least not immediately. Chinchillas have their own personalities like most pets. Chinchillas like to take dust baths. Social contact. Chinchillas are sociable, so they need opportunities to interact with one or more friendly chinchillas and people. You should house them together with other friendly chinchillas. Chinchillas are athletic. They have long hind limbs adapted for leaping. They can jump up to 6 feet in height, and pet chinchillas have been reported to jump onto the top of refrigerators. That's high. Did you know that chinchillas can be different colors? Thanks for listening to my talk. Don't be afraid if you want a pet chinchilla now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eli Carlson, and I'm giving my talk on the difference between cute and ugly. Around 3.8 billion years ago, Earth was a harsh wasteland, but suddenly life appeared. It wasn't much, though, only single-cellular. But a few million years later, it evolved into multicellular animals. It took about billions and billions of years,
preferably 4.5 billion years, for the world and the animals to look the way they do today. Who has ever gone to the zoo and thought they saw a cute animal? One question: how do you know it's cute? There are people who don't really know, but there are people who do. So what exactly makes an animal cute? It requires a small nose, large head, chubby cheeks, big eyes, and it also helps if it has a thick coat of fur, like all of these animals up here. For an excellent example of a cute animal is the European hamster. It has all the ingredients of cuteness. But the rest of these animals up here might not have all the ingredients, but it only requires a few. But what about the opposite? What makes an animal ugly? Lack of symmetry, disproportionate body parts, and features that are perceived as threatening might make people think that these animals are ugly. These may also make a human full of discomfort and even fear. A lot of the time it's just discomfort, because we wouldn't be used to an animal that is so ugly. All of these animals have those specific steps and ingredients for how they look. I feel like I haven't quite answered your question though. Why? Why do these animals look the way they do? It's evolution. Now you're probably wondering, what is evolution? Well, when things change in your environment, you have to adapt to them. For example, the American alligator. Around 200 million years ago, crocodiles and alligators just looked as a four-legged creature running around on land. People say that its environment started to change a couple million years ago when the continents started to break and more rivers started to form. Then the crocodile had to adapt to its new surroundings, and it slowly evolved into the creature we know today. It also works for other animals. When their environment changes, they have to change as well. And that's why animals look the way they do. Many people say that a lot of cute animals get all the glory, while ugly animals are just left behind in the dust. For example, a Virginia zoo in Norfolk say that they only want what the people want, and that is the cute animals. It's like no one really wants the other animals that people say that are ugly or just freaky. This doesn't just happen in zoos or in the movies, but in the real and dangerous world. There are thousands of endangered animals on this planet, but there are many people who don't even care. Pollution, taxidermy, and habitat loss are the reason that animals are just disappearing. And if this continues, we might not see any of these animals ever again. All of these animals are in our family. We would want to treat our family with respect. So calling an animal ugly is like going up to your grandma or uncle and calling him or her ugly. We would never want that to happen. So we wanted to treat our family with respect. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rachel Hunger, and my talk is about why people should read more. I'm going to start by telling a very short story. I was in bed around 8 o'clock reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. As I read it, I thought about what was going on. Harry had just found out that Madame Moody was in Madame Moody. I thought about
character's expression, the room they're in, and what everyone looked like. I use my imagination thinking about it. Reading helps your imagination grow. Some people don't read because they have a lack of imagination. Some people like reading because they want to feel emotions such as joy, sadness, fear, hope, anger, love, and confusion. Did you know reading makes you smarter? You know math books? They may not be fun, but they're still books. Plus other books in general help you learn. If you were reading a book and the character was in school and learning math, it might give you an equation and an answer that you didn't know, and boom, you learned something new. Are you a person who always forgets things? One of those people who goes downstairs planning on doing something but forgets what you're going to do when you're down there? Well, you're in luck because reading improves your memory. According to scientists, reading is a lot of things for your brain. Reading strengthens your brain, it lowers your stress level, and like I said earlier, it makes you smarter. Reading also improves your concentration and focus. It increases your vocabulary, it improves your communication skills, and increases empathy. Reading boosts your brain power and enhances sleep quality. Reading improves social skills and even increases your mental health. Also, reading is entertainment. There are a lot of different types of books. There's fantasy, fiction, nonfiction, horror, mysteries, biographies, textbooks, how-to books, sci-fi, sports books, comic books, and my personal favorite, romance, plus many, many other types of books. Whatever you're interested in, there's a book for it. If you don't like reading long books or chapter books, then try starting with a picture book and then warm up to a small chapter book. In our generation, I've realized that a lot of people don't read books. Only 32% of the U.S. population read books for entertainment. Back in the day, people used to use books to read about places they couldn't see and things they couldn't do. You may not realize how old some books are, but there are a lot of really old books. The oldest book in the world is around 600 BC. That's really old. In my opinion, books are amazing. I hope I've changed your perspective on books. If you already like books, good for you. If you didn't, hopefully you do now. Thank you for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed my talk.
Hello everyone, I'm Lucy. There are millions of people on Earth who have diabetes. There are also millions who are suffering because of diabetes. You get diabetes when your pancreas stops producing insulin. My brother Landon was a normal kid. He was athletic and played many different sports until he started getting dehydrated. He was dehydrated for days until he went to the hospital for a checkup. The doctors did a blood test and then decided to send him to the children's hospital. That is when they told him he had diabetes. He was in the hospital for 3 days learning how to cope with his new disabilities. After, he kept on playing sports and living his life like any other kid. His story would be completely different if he had diabetes even 50 years ago, thanks to technology. There are tons of technology for diabetics to use. CGMs are used to read blood sugar so you know if you have a high glucose or low glucose. They usually get put in your arm or upper thigh. But some people don't want an insulin shot every time they're hungry, so they get a pump. A pump is a piece of technology that you usually put on your stomach and you put insulin in it and it gives you insulin when you need it. 102 years ago, Dr. Frederick Banting was the first person to successfully extract insulin and administer it to diabetic patients. Prior to 1921, type 1 diabetics had a 0% survival rate. Banting sold the insulin patent to the University of Toronto for only $1. Banting said, "Insulin doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the world." Insulin is now the 6th most expensive liquid in the entire world. The A1C is one of the blood tests used to diagnose diabetes. It tells you how good you have been managing your blood sugar over the past 3 months. The better you manage your diabetes, the healthier you'll be. Your CGM would connect to your mobile device. All you need to do is get an app installed and connect your CGM to the app. CGMs are very popular because they read your blood sugar so you know if you're high or low. When your blood sugar is high, your body needs more insulin. When your blood sugar is low, your body needs more carbs. A low blood sugar, if left untreated, could be life-threatening. Pumps are very useful for people with diabetes, especially those who play sports. This is what a pump looks like. They are very popular for diabetics because they connect with their CGM and knows when to give you insulin. When you are a diabetic, you are going to need to figure out the carb count of what you're going to eat. You have to calculate the carbs to get the correct amount of insulin. Most people use their mobile device, which would include Google. But if you're eating at a fast food restaurant, you would either have to ask an employee or go on their website and look up the carbs for everything you ate. Diabetics use diabetes bracelets to let others know that they are diabetics. For example, if a diabetic got in a car crash, the emergency responder would know they are diabetic before they provide treatment that could harm the diabetic. These are just some of the examples of how technology has changed for diabetes in the last 50 years. Who knows what will happen in 50 more years? Maybe someone will find a cure. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay, and there has been a debate about one thing in the NFL for a long time. Will Patrick Mahomes be better than Tom Brady? Tom Brady went to Michigan for college. Tom Brady is a QB drafted in the 6th round, pick 199 by the New England Patriots. He holds the record for passing yards and completions. He also has the record for most AFC Championship wins and Super Bowl wins. He played in the NFL for 24 years and led 2 teams to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes went to Texas Tech for college and played MLB baseball for the Detroit Tigers. He was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs 1st round, pick 10. He has won 3 Super Bowls, 2 in a row, 2 league MVPs, and 3 Super Bowl MVPs. In Tom Brady's first 4 years as a starter, his record was 34-12, which is 4 more losses and 4 less wins than Mahomes. Tom Brady had 10,233 passing yards in his first 4 years, and Patrick Mahomes had 14,152 passing yards. Mahomes had almost 2 times as many touchdowns than Tom Brady in their first 4 years. Mahomes had 114. Tom Brady had 69. They both had 2 Super Bowl appearances in their first 4 years. Mahomes has already surpassed NFL greats like Dan Marino's completion percentage. He also beat Tom Brady's tight end and QB duo touchdown record. Mahomes beat John Elway's rushing yards in a Super Bowl. Recently, Mahomes has had receivers who couldn't catch the ball, game-losing catches, and catches turning into interceptions, and still won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady also deflated the footballs to win. He also has defeated the #1 defense in the entire league. Tom Brady had Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, Randy Randy Moss on a Super Bowl run. Tom Brady also deflated the footballs to win. Oh, I already said that. Patrick Mahomes didn't deflate the footballs and still dominated the league. If your records are broken, you aren't the GOAT anymore, which Mahomes has done a lot. There is still time for Mahomes and a long way to the GOAT nickname. In the near future, Patrick Mahomes will break Tom Brady's records, keep dominating the league, and win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and finally become the GOAT. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zeke. My talk is going to be about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. There are 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic in the patch. All this trash is harming sea life and animals that live on beaches. This patch is getting bigger each day. So you may be wondering, did the Great Pacific Garbage Patch form back in 1907? A brand new invention was created, plastic. Since then, plastic has all but taken over the world. 430 million tons of plastic is produced every year. That's 860 billion pounds. People use plastic more and more every year, with 100 million plastic bottles purchased every minute and 5 trillion plastic bags used every year. You must be thinking, where is it all going? 5 to 6% of plastic is recycled, leaving 94 to 95% of plastic produced every year to be thrown away. Some of the plastic is washed into rivers that lead to oceans. About 1.7 million tons make it to the ocean each year. Once there, it gets caught in currents that gather to form the 5 great ocean garbage patches. The largest patch is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is 3 times bigger than France. That's about twice the size of Texas. So how does all this plastic harm the environment? All the floating plastic breaks down due to sunlight, waves, and sea life. It turns into microplastics. A microplastic is an extremely small piece of plastic debris. Of the 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, 94% are microplastics. These tiny plastics are often mistaken for food, and animals eat them. Eating plastic can cause starvation, loss of nutrition, or even death. So, also, once microplastics enter the food chain, they can make their way to people. People consume about 5 grams of microplastics each week, mostly from drinking water, but also from ocean food sources. Studies have shown microplastics can severely harm the human body. They have been linked to cancer, lung diseases, and birth defects. So, how are we trying to solve this problem? One group, the Ocean Cleanup, is using a U-shaped net pulled by 2 ships to clean up the ocean. It is estimated it will take 67 ships working for 1 year to clean up less than 1% of the North Pacific Ocean. This method does not work efficiently. Another attempt to clean up rivers from plastic trash is with the Interceptor. This boat cleans garbage from rivers to prevent it from reaching the ocean. Using solar power and conveyor belts, it removes trash from the water. There is currently 4 of these boats in use. However, each boat costs $775,000 to build. It is estimated that most of the plastic found in the ocean is coming from 1,000 rivers. This means 996 more boats need to be built to do this. It would cost $771,900,000 more to complete this task. As of now, the money hasn't been raised to do this. Another invention, the waste shark, works by floating on the water's surface in calm areas to collect waste garbage. Garbage and waste as it goes by. It can collect 1,100 pounds of trash before it has to empty on shore. One drawback of the waste shark is that it can only clean for 8 to 16 hours before it needs to recharge. Another drawback is that it must stay close to shore. While this invention helps prevent plastic from reaching the ocean, it is unable to clean up the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The only real solution is to stop using so much plastic and use more biodegradable resources. This is a simple and easy change to make. It will have a lasting benefit for our ocean. It is going to take us all to do this. Starting today, we have to decide what future we want. Thank you for your time.
My name is Felix, and today we are going to talk about how we are not alone in the universe. Since the beginning of time, humans thought the Earth was the only planet ever until this happened. And then it unraveled even more. We realized that our sun was a star too. Then we figured out from planet eclipses, stars have solar systems too. Those are called exoplanets. There are probably other lives in such a giant universe. After all, the universe is expanding rapidly. This number, kilometers per second to be exact. Also, don't think this is one of you guys, I saw a UFO outside my house. According to NASA.gov, there's probably some kind of life form very, very far away from us. Aliens probably aren't even smart enough to build a rocket ship to get here. They probably don't even have machines yet. Why, they probably aren't even smarter than a rock. So we won't actually see aliens anytime soon. They can take any size. We don't know if they're smart or not. They could be reptiles, mammals, or something incomprehensible. There are lots of planets for aliens to be on. Did you know that there are 2 trillion galaxies, not stars or planets, galaxies, and 100 billion stars in each galaxy, and about 10 planets in each solar system. So that's about 2 septillion, or 2 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 planets. That's just like one or 2. 29% at minimum of planets are habitable. And I did the math, meaning I asked my dad if I could use Google Calculator, and 58 sextillion planets are habitable. And remember, that's just the minimum. It's not for certain that there's other lives on other planets. But hey, that's just a theory. A space theory.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Pavlov, and I'm doing a talk about the cons of AI. As you all know, AI came as a consequence for our development. It can help a lot, like with GPS, smart voice assistants, and cameras. It can also have a lot of negative impacts in our society. There's a lot to talk about in the cons of AI. Let's get straight to it. Unemployment. Through the years, AI has been getting better at doing jobs that humans are capable of. AI technology is getting so advanced that some AI now has the ability to replace jobs like animators, factory workers, librarians, cashiers, and a lot more. A lot of people are getting out of the job, and that number of people is increasing, mostly because of AI replacing their jobs. Job changes. At the same time jobs are being replaced, new jobs are emerged since AI is changing how work is done. So people need to learn new skills to perform new jobs. Imagine that. As AI is getting more skilled and intelligent, it is getting harder to maintain jobs. And for the people that are getting out of the job, they are facing the challenge of finding a job that they are capable of, and at the same time, a job AI can't replace. Hacker danger. Bad people can use AI to make more powerful computer viruses and attacks. If it was already bad, now it's getting worse. Some AI software makes it easy to identify loopholes in a company's security with hardly any effort. The software can detect easily penetrable networks or flawed security systems. By unleashing the software all at once, multiple businesses are targeted, and the hackers have a higher chance of having a successful attack. No privacy. AI can watch everything we do and keep track of our information without us knowing. In social media, in order to make money, companies use AI to learn your behavior and taste so they can show ads of products that you would like. Doing all of that, they can more than you know yourself. Having companies invading your privacy is extremely bad, and you've got to be careful. Maybe one way to be careful is not to show your information on social media at all. Ethical problems. It's hard to teach AI what's right and wrong. Sometimes it might make choices we don't agree with. Imagine if your robot friend decided to throw away your favorite toy because it thought it was broken, but it was just a little scratch.
Like that example, AI can assume things wrong because we didn't program it that way, and it's really hard to teach it correctly. Bias. Yet another kind of AI is bias. AI is intelligent, yet still relies on its programming for some things. In some cases, it's a good thing, but in the case of bias, it's bad. Bias means something favors another thing better for an unfair reason. For example, AI could say cats are better than dogs just because the programmer programmed the AI like that. Bias like that example can actually happen just as two different things that aren't cats or dogs. And bias like that could cause a lot of problems. Fake news. AI can create realistic fake pictures and videos that look real, confusing people and spreading lies, as if we needed more lies on this planet. Example, during the presidential campaign, an unethical candidate could use AI to make people believe that the other candidate said or did something bad that he actually didn't do. It's spreading misinformation and it's getting more and more common. So, in the future, fake news will probably become a threat. Watch out. There's so many cons, the possibility of fake news, our privacy possibly getting leaked, and you probably having to switch jobs in the future, you better watch out. Maybe try to avoid jobs that AI can easily replace, or make sure you have networks that can't get hacked easily. AI problems like job losses or ethical problems are getting worse, and people should be aware of it. Thanks for listening to my talk. If you don't understand, I guess I just danked you. Some of you people probably don't know what dank means. Dank means thank you, but in German. Thank you for listening to my talk. I'll see you next time I decide to make a TED Talk. Which is probably never.
Should be treated better by Jacob Golden. Todd, an Arctic fox at the Great Brit Spa Zoo, passed away from deep depression on April 24, 2024. Over 5,000 animals die in zoos each year. Over 600,000 birds and mammals are kept in the world's zoos. Animals are forced to live in unnatural, small, stressful, boring environments, leading to a lack of mental and physical stimulation. Animals are imprisoned for human entertainment. They are removed from their natural habitats and confined to small, limited spaces and often forced to perform tricks or entertain visitors. Zoos teach people that animal captivity is acceptable. Animal protection laws are not strong enough. Zoos are largely ethical. Many visitors disturb and disrespect the animals. Many zoos fail to provide the required minimum standard of care. Healthy animals are killed in zoos because they're no longer useful to them. Zoo animals are often drugged to be kept calm and mistreated practices. Zoos often have insignificant knowledge of the animal. Zoos don't replicate animals' natural habitats. Zoos also teach the children the wrong lessons, which increases risk of diseases or a threat to. Zoos contribute to the exotic trade. 100 million wild animals are traded internationally each year. In addition, baby animals that are deemed access to requirements find their way into black market sales. This support of the exotic pet trade also results in a lot of preventable zoo animal deaths. And that is why zoo animals should be treated better. Thank you. to save the ocean. Hi, I'm Cielo and I love the ocean. Jellyfish, whales, dolphins, you name it. But when I found out these amazing creatures were being hunted down and killed, I was not having it. That's right, they were being killed. It's not just plastic and pollution. Some sea creatures are even captured and sold. Like this beluga whale who lives happily in the sea until humans took it from its natural habitat and put it in a rusty tank. For example, a South Korean mall in Seoul is currently home to a beluga whale named Bella, who once swam free in the ocean waters, has now been living in the shallow waters of the mall for almost a decade. Bella once swam in the tank with 2 other beluga whales, but since her 2 brothers died inconveniently, Bella is now Lottie World Aquarium's lone beluga whale, and now swims in the tank all alone. Activists hope to change that by helping relocate her to a sanctuary where she can swim with other belugas like her. Creatures like Bella were being killed by a specific method called whaling. Whaling is when people search for peoples like bluefin whales, tuna, or even whale sharks, and then hunt down and kill these animals. You're probably asking, why would they even kill these animals? Well, I'm here to answer that question. According to Ren Yabuki, a director of the Life Investigation Agency in Taiji, which is a small island off the coast of Japan, they send about 11 motor-powered boats and herd a pod of dolphins into a small cove and put tarps over the water so no bystanders can see what they're doing, and examine the gender, size, length of these dolphins. Then they pick 2 of their liking and ship them off to aquariums where they have to do tricks and live in a small, cramped concrete tank for the rest of their lives, where people rarely even think of how they got there. But the fate of the 16 unchosen dolphins is even crueler. Hunters strike the dolphins with a sharp metal rod into their necks just below the blowhole, causing them to drown in their own blood. This causes the entire cove to turn red because of their blood. Sometimes they even have people dive into the water and wrangle and kill the dolphins. No animals should have to live like this. But their only excuse for killing whole pods of dolphins is fish. That's right, fish. They were killing these dolphins because they were overfishing, and the dolphins were just eating their food. But then the Sea Shepherd, a group that protects and goes against whaling, decided to do an investigation in Taiji. They discovered that the dolphins were just an excuse for them. They found a tuna port that had shipped bluefin tuna, the most expensive fish in the world. Just one of those fish would sell for $5 billion on the market. Yet they were pulling thousands and hundreds of these fish out of the sea. Bluefin tuna were already on the brink of extinction, and they were killing even more of them. The dolphins were an excuse for an illegal business they were running. I never knew how cool we could be to a sea animal. I think we could fix this. We've done it once, we can do it again. Let me tell you what I mean. There once was a time when humpback whales were on the edge of extinction because they were being killed, and many more whales were being found beached up on shores. But we saved them by placing a ban on the USA. I believe we can, by placing a ban on whaling in the US. We can do it, I believe we can do it again. Thank you for your time.
My name is Winnie. I'm going to talk about how music can change your life. It can change your life because think about how different songs or types of music make you feel. Types of music. Here are some of the types of music: pop, rap, rock, blues, folk, country, rhythm, and soul. Songs like Karma by Taylor Swift make me feel happy. Songs like Ghost by Ava Max make me feel a little shiver up my spine. If you think about it, it's not the lyrics that make you feel those emotions, it's the type of music that does. For example, I think that violin music is sad and guitar music is happy. Emotions. Music Music makes you feel different emotions. All those emotions make me feel different things. Those feelings are so strong. The more you listen to more songs, the more you feel those emotions. I think that it's really fun to listen to new songs. Every song has an emotion to go with it. Think about if you were angry or sad. When I feel those emotions, I like to listen to music to calm me down. Music like Enya or Kenny G can be helpful. It is helpful because it gives off calm vibes. Since it gives off calm vibes, it changes your emotions from angry to calm. And it does not have to change just one tiny emotion. It can change several huge emotions. Research has shown that listening to music can reduce anxiety, blood pressure, and pain, as well as improve sleep quality, mood, mental alertness, and memory. Music has the power to transport us back in time, to calm our worried minds, or to boost our moods. There really is one song for every emotion. Science has even backed these benefits of music. Research findings have demonstrated that music supports our mental and emotional health. I have found that the best genres of music to listen to while studying, reading, or writing include classical, piano, or lo-fi music. Here are some interesting facts about music. Number 1, music can help you concentrate on work better. Number 2, music changes your perception. Number 3, music has the power to recall memories even after severe brain injuries. Research has found that those who listen to music recover faster from those who don't. As many studies suggest that listening to music can lower stress or hormones, as well as blood pressure, with both spike when you're stressed. Music plays an important role in all our lives, but listening to music or playing an instrument is more than just creative outlet or a hobby. It is also good for us. Here are some more facts about music. It increases happiness, memory, and creativity. Singing, playing instruments, and even dancing can improve pain tolerance. Research has found that the physical movement used to create music provides a synchronized activity that significantly heightens gathered pain threshold. Music therapists are specifically trained to use music to address goals such as pain reduction. Because music is an enjoyable activity, it can release endorphins, which creates a general feeling of well-being. Music therapy can successfully reduce post-operative pain, physical tension, and influence heart and breathing rates. Fast music tends to increase pulse rate and blood pressure. Slow music tends to decrease pulse rate and blood pressure, as well as breathing rates. Thank you for your time.
Hello everybody, my name is Kingston. This is why zoo animals should be treated better. Tons and tons of animals have died to one thing: zoos. Zoos kill over 5,000 animals a year. That's just in Europe, according to veterinarians.com. As one thing, they took a perfectly happy elephant and put it in a zoo in Philippines when it was 3. They put it in that little area for its entire life. It went through really, really bad depression and then ended up dying of cancer. That is sad because it can't have a fun life going out and playing with its family in the wild. Now this is one story from ABC News, but think of all the bad stuff happening to animals around the world. 80% of zoo animals are depressed, according to National Geographic. I did the math. There's about 10,000 zoos, according to zoos around the world. And there's 8,700 animals in each, according to interesting zoo and aquarium statistics. That is 87 billion zoo animals.
And 80% of that is about 70 million. So, there's about 70 million depressed animals. That's a huge number. You can save endangered animals, but do not make them so sad and depressed that they do nothing and ended up having a sad, depressed life. They suffer from really deep boredom because of this. And then they'll mistreat them and make it even worse. This, about 70% of zoo animals risk bred animal abuse, according to Petpedia. This is shocking, and it needs to stop. Also, zoo elephants live way less as long as wild ones. Wild ones live about 60 to 70 years old, but sadly, zoo animals live only 40 years now. According to Last Chance for Animals. This is a massive problem, but we can fix this. I don't think we need to close these zoos because it's fun memory with your family and it can teach us stuff. Here's my ideas to make a way better zoo. First, I think we can give them way more space so they can play around and not be depressed in that little area. Number 2, we need to put the animals in there so they can be friends with each other and play. That will cause entertainment for us and it'll be a win-win. 3, we'll give them fun activities with us, like feeding them and more stuff. This will help them stay happy because they have interaction and we'll feel happy and we'll want to come more. Also, when they get old, I think we should just let them out into like a park or something so they can maybe see like family or just be able to just have a wild experience. Number 5, we could put them in a conservation more of an idea because that's not really keeping them in the zoo for long. That is more of just keeping them safe in a little area, like not little, but like an area, and making sure the sick animals are okay. This would be a way better because it won't be as bad for the animals. Number 6, we need an inspector to come and make sure that they're not abusing or mistreating these animals because 75%, that's a lot, and we cannot have this happen. We need to make sure they have good food so they can be healthy and happy. If we do these changes, it will help a lot. And it will make the zoos way better and animals happier. So guys, let's do this. Thank you.
My name is Aria. I would like to talk about why people should reduce, and recycle more. Reducing, reusing, and recycling changed my life because I think of planet Earth as family, and I would like to convince you to help me save our Earth so we can live in a beautiful world. I bet you know what trash is, right? I don't know about you, but I see a lot of trash here and there and in the ocean. And that could kill living and breathing things. It is not healthy for fish to swim around and sometimes eat trash. And once the fish eat the trash and then we eat the fish, we can get really, really, really sick. Keep our world healthy and beautiful. We would miss peaceful sunsets. So this might seem a little bit weird, but if you're alive, please raise your hand. Great. In order for you to stay alive, you must breathe healthy oxygen. What about the living things? Like animals, I'm pretty sure we all love animals, and Taylor Swift. Well, you know, humans. I think there may be a couple of Swifties out there. But if we could live in a world where nobody littered, humans and animals could live a happier and healthier life. Another way you can help other than picking up trash is to save electricity, which means turn on lights and stuff only when you need them, and turn down the air conditioning a lot and put on a sweater or something. We could even not use electricity altogether. Instead of lights, we could use fire. Lights may be easier for us, but definitely not for the environment. The first R means to use things over and over again. The first R is reuse. The second R is reduce. It means to use only as much as you need and try not to use much. The third R means to make things into new stuff if the old stuff doesn't work anymore. The fourth R means if you take down one tree, plant another one, or even better, 4 more trees. Because people use trees for tons and tons of paper, and lots of it just goes to waste. Don't depend on others for it to happen. You can do it. A way to get lots of trash picked up takes more than one pair of hands. It takes lots of people. So you can gather a trash club where people get together and pick up trashy areas. A trashy area would look like this. Looks pretty bad, doesn't it? That is why people should not pollute so much. Thank you for your time.
Why we should stop animal abuse? Animal abuse is a big and bad thing. Many animals are abused in America every day. Animals are also used for running narcotics, and dozens of homicides happen sometimes. What is animal abuse? Abuse violations, torture, torment, mutilation, cruel beating, and cruel killing take many forms. Torment need not be physical in nature. An animal can be tormented by baiting or teasing, or a pattern of intimidation by yelling or threatening physical harm. Serious physical abuse, if not witnessed, may be hard to detect because of the physical evidence, such as bruising and abrasions may be hidden by hair. Visible evidence of physical abuse includes limping, swelling, bloody urine, and broken teeth. Hand shyness, timidity, cowering, and fear biting are behaviors symptomatic of abuse. Partially, if the animal exhibits these behaviors, is the presence of animals. Dogfighting and cockfighting and other forms of organized animal cruelty go hand in hand with other crimes. The HSUS documented uniformed police officers at a cockfighting pit in Kentucky. The U.S. enforcement has prosecuted multiple cases where drug cartels are running narcotics through dogfighting and cockfighting. Dozens of homicides have happened at dog and cockfightings. A man in California was killed over a $10 disagreement on a $10 bet. The animals who are abused most often are dogs, cats, horses, and livestock. Undercover investigations have revealed that animal abuse abounds in the factory farm industries. There are approximately 70 million pet dogs and 74 million pet cats in the U.S., and 20 men and women are assaulted per minute, an average around 10 million a year. In a test, 71% of domestic violence victims said their abuser also targeted pets. In one study of families under investigation of suspected child abuse, researchers found that pet abuse had occurred in 88% of the families under supervision for physical abuse of their children. Intentional abuse to animals is strongly correlated with other crimes. Hoarding behavior often victimizes animals. Sufferers of a hoarding disorder may impose severe neglect on animals by housing far more than they are adequately to take care of. Serious animal neglect, such as hoarding, is often an indicator of people in need of social or mental health services, suggesting that those who intentionally abuse animals are predominantly men under 30, those involved in hoarding, or women likely over 60. Here are some sure signs of animal neglect. No shelter. Animals need protection from the elements while being outdoors to ensure their welfare and well-being. Collar too tight. A collar that is too tight can cause injury, strangulation, and death. Lack of grooming. Without regular grooming, a pet, especially a long-haired one, can get massive matting and sores. Manage. Manage caused by tiny parasites leads to itching, loss of hair, and sores from scratching and biting. To relieve the irritation. Manage is easily treated with medical baths. Starvation. Inadequate nutrition can be caused not only by lack of food, but also improper food, untreated diseases, and parasites. That is why we should stop animal cruelty. Put a stop to animal cruelty.
Hello, I'm Jenny Rathbot, and I'm talking about why we should be very thankful for this. So let's first go with what you know. We wouldn't be a living, breathing thing without the sun. The earth depends on it too. To what I believe right now is that the earth would probably be like a cold, floating rock in space. The sun is what keeps us from drifting away. Its gravitational pull keeps us in line. It keeps all the planets in the solar system from floating away. The Earth, or our home, is close enough to have warmth and far enough from turning to a super hot planet. It's perfect. We have to be thankful for our atmosphere because it keeps all the heat and then it becomes freezing. Like no grass are living on it. The sun is around the middle of its life, its yellow dwarf phase. Now, scientists think it'll turn into a red giant around 5 billion years. So it's really like middle-aged because it's around 4.5 billion years old, which is when that does happen, it will kill planets out of the sun from explosion as a theory. Now, something we do know is that it's not going to be a black hole. It has to be about 20 times bigger than a red giant. But don't worry or panic. You won't be alive when it's a red giant, so you will have to live. So you will live to have the sun you have today. We are sharing the sun with the planets Mercury, Venus, Uranus, Mars, Jupiter, and Neptune. I don't include Pluto. Water cycle. What does the sun do for it? We have all heard of the water cycle, but what does it have to do with the sun? Let me tell you. When the sun energy gets to the earth, it warms the atmosphere and land, and then evaporates some water. When the clouds lets go of the water, rain, it lands back on the ocean. Wait, clouds? What did clouds come from? When the water evaporates, it turns into vapor. Vapor condenses to make clouds. Photosynthesis. The sun is involved too. Now guess what? I'm also talking about photosynthesis because it also has to do with the sun and to how the earth depends on the sun as well. They, or aka the plants, they take energy from the sun, use it to change water and carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, basically sugar. Plants use carbohydrates to grow, in other words. When then they release oxygen during photosynthesis. Global warming. Due to pollution, global warming has started in the Culminating Earth. Since around the early 1900s, the temperature has gone up by 2 degrees. It may not seem like a lot, but trust me, it is. Size. The sun is an average star, as you know, but about 1.3 million Earths can fit into the sun. That's a lot. So that makes me think, how many people would it take to fit inside the sun? Let me tell you, around 2.5 quadrillion people. That's way more than our Earth population. The core of the sun is the hottest place in the sun, which where hydrogen turns into helium. It's not joking. At around 27 million degrees there, the density is 150 grams. Wowzers! That is 8 times more dense than gold. Now, let me summarize this. The sun makes the Earth we have today exist, and we should be very thankful for it. Without the sun, we wouldn't have water, animals, ourselves, grass, any of the living things on our Earth. It is also a really large crystal and star, and I'm our solar system without it. Thank you for the time.